But yeah, so my roof was basically screwed up. I am now finally here. That's all there is. We're playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Again. That's all I got to say. What the hell is that breakdance? That's hilarious. I don't know what the hell's going on, but sure. Whatever, right? We're doing more shenanigans today. I still think that going for Rescue Aces is the correct call. It's literally I'm betting it all on this at this point. It's so close every time. We just lack outs. So I might replan a little bit today, but we'll see, you know. Alright, we got the 8. We'll spin this one instead and hope for the best. We got a second chance for, what's it called? For Ghosts from the Past 2. Can we get not Ghosts from the Past 2? Woo! I don't want it, please. No, that's dangerously close to Ghosts from the Past 2. That's dangerously close to Ghosts from the Past 2. I don't want it. Go, thank God. Whew. That was a close call. Wild Survivors it is. That was the closest we've been, I think. Anyways, Wild Survivors. Yeehaw. I don't know what's in here. Yo, Conductor Tyranno, apparently. Some Vanquish Soul, Tikaboo, which we already have. Giant Rex, Talismandra, Allure, and yo, we actually got Belmuel! Lol, look at that, we got the best one. I'm okay with this. We can't play them, but I love this deck, so whatever. Vanquish Soul, Prep Rights, Baby, another Tikaboo. We got the Trap card, Lithosag. Yo, we got Conferas. We're actually getting somewhere here. Deck Dev. I can't play this, but funny. Oviraptor, Archeosaur, Petitodon, Candle. We got double Evo Pill, Vanquish Soul, Razen. We have a Dino Core now, what the fuck? Tenki, Eradicator, okay, Lost World, Misk, we have them all, baby, we have them all. There can only be one. We got Pluton, High Ground, and Candle. Another Archeosaur, another Pill, another Ovi. What the fuck is this? Is the entire Dino Core actually in here? Like, actually? Yeah, but I don't have a Diabell Star. So, you know, unfortunate for us. Giant Rex, and oh, we got today's menu. We got one of the Ultras. Now if we could get a Ritual, then, you know, we could do stuff. Deck Dev again. We got the card that you don't want to play. We actually got one of the ones we needed, so that's nice. Soul Eating, Tikaboo, and oh my, we have all of them! Yo, hear me out, hear me out. If we actually get, the Ritual spells for the Nouvelles, I'll play them. We still need both of the Ritual spells, though. We need Meat Recipe and Fish Recipe, but if we have them, I can play it. Another Deck Dev, Lost World, Soul Eating. We have a playset of this now. Chef Special, and Politis. Snap. Okay, now we actually have all of them. Yeah, we don't have a burger, that's true. Lost World, we got Hamburger Recipe. Pre-Prep, Tenki, Giant Rex. Ah, damn it. We're very close to being able to play this. Like, I kind of hate... No, I'm not dipping out. Fuck you. I want the good cards, but like legitimately having all of these is kind of nice. That means if we go into Wild Survivors another like one of the last weeks, I can try and play it. I got none of the field spells unfortunately, so it's kind of bad. Anyways, Anniversary Collection, yeehaw. Lightning Storm, thank you. I need those. I don't care about Salvation. I don't care about Small World. A third Droplet, nice. And Artemis, I don't really care. Lightning Storm's great, though. IDP, Luna, Dim Barrier, Punishment, and TTT. We'll take that. Nightmare Unicorn, I have that already. Judgment, Sword Soul, a Pitch for Dogmatica Punishment, and a third Imperm! Yo! Imperm playset! Totally worth it. 100% worth it. I don't even care. That's great. Sweet. Like, the changes are going to be absolutely fucking minimal now, but, like, who cares?
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
We're not playing Rescue Dino, no. Go away. Rhoda is a card we can play in this, because Airlifter is a warrior. I didn't actually know that. Rescue Dino could probably work, yeah, but I don't want to go into Rescue Dino just yet, because I would much rather have more of the actual Dino cards to do that, because we only got one of the Baby and one of the Petite. Which is not great. Because we did get enough Archeosaurs to feed a fucking small household at this point. So, like, could I put them in? Probably. Holy shit, we have 2 Fossil Dig. Wait, is this what I play this week? Some fucking dino bullshit deck? We'll try it. Who cares, right? It's, what could possibly go wrong? Everything's gonna go wrong, but I don't care. It's a funny little deck. Here we go. This is the Y deck. I have so many questions. What, chat, why are you making me play this? I hate it. Alright then, for round number 1 today, we are once again playing up against Lardax's DDDs. I don't know how it happens that every week we go up against him first, but this one ends about as well as you'd expect. He manages to do his full DDD shenanigans, even though we stop his pendulum monster, but he does still manage to get really, really far. We're forced to set 5 pass because the only card we draw is a goddamn dinosaur. Unfortunately, we do draw ourselves a fossil dig here, so we are able to use Oviraptor to kind of get somewhere with this. We do manage to tag out just so we have a machine in the graveyard to go into UCT. UCT can clear the board, and that's basically everything we can do. Unfortunately for us, he does manage to get into his pen scales here, and in doing so, he's basically able to pop off and do whatever he wants. We can only set things face down and hope for the best by sacking our UCT and then praying to God we get something useful. Unfortunately, an Archaeosaur isn't really that useful, and this will become a massive theme throughout this episode because the dinosaurs tend to show up in our hand somehow. Maybe I'm just the Dino God, but game 1 goes to the Dax. For game number 2, we actually do manage to go into our Rescue Ace combo, and we do manage to pop up just a little bit to set up for a UCT on a following turn with a set 5 pass. He manages to get into all of his Gengises somehow by, I don't know, sheer magic, trying to negate everything, and I tried to just counter-negate with everything I got, but he has managed to use both negates here, and I'm kind of just hoping he goes into something that I can stop. Unfortunately, I should have probably stopped the pendulum guy, but I didn't. He builds up a full board, so I do manage to go ahead and pop my protection early here to make sure that he can't actually do anything with it, which is fine. We set 4 once again, we go for another one, and we attempt to go into battle, but then realizing, shit, I can't summon UCT here because one of them needs to be in the graveyard, so actually go ahead and summon Hita so we can go into UCT, pop everything face down, destroy every card, and apparently not deal 1,000 damage for free because the game decided not to. With this, we can now get Rescue. With that, we can get ourselves into Fire Engine. Fire Engine can sit there and summon Hydrant whenever he summons something, which is kind of the plan, just so we have sack material for UCT once things go dicey, like right here. So we do decide to pop the Fire Engine after summoning the Hydrant to set everything face down once again, hoping that he can't really do much, but he still goes into Beowulf. He still gets basically full combo regardless of what I do. He goes into his, whatever that thing is, King Alexander, I think, into Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga has to trade with UCT here, which is very interesting, which means I'm on the front foot against DDD somehow. Possibly because of dinos, possibly not, who knows. I do manage to clear the board entirely, I go in for a bunch of damage, I have a set 5 pass. He still manages to go into another High King Genghis, as well as going into Dark, Dark being used to basically gain him life points. We stop it immediately, and we manage to take game 2. For game number 3, our hand is looking kinda bad, especially going second against this absolute disaster of a deck. He's basically able to pop off doing all of the DDD things that you'd expect, and this time actually getting into the full combo. We do manage to stop one fusion summon using the Bestial, thankfully, to not let him have everything, but he still ends up on the 2 negates and 2 back row. We don't really have much. We're gonna go for the Hydrant. We're gonna force him to steal one of the cards here, just popping the Hydrant into the graveyard, which we can get back anyway. We do go ahead for the Rescue Ace combo, which we managed to get into a little bit. Unfortunately, we do get into Fire Engine, and here I just decide to pop some attacks because we have hit time. At this point, I simply scoop the game up knowing that, yeah, there's nothing more we need to do, time has been called, and unfortunately, we take round number 1 in time. For round number 2 this week, we're playing up against Spectra, who is on Valmonica of all things. Honestly, this deck is super cool, and it does bring me joy to see Pendulum and kind of, Sulfa Chords kind of getting support. It's not a Sulfa Chord deck, don't worry, but their theming is the same and I love it. Unfortunately, we once again open nothing but the dinosaur combo, and we aren't really able to do jack shit with it, because we could have gone into a UCT here, but we would have had no monster on board to destroy, so it wouldn't have been useful. He goes ahead and activates the Valmonica field spell, which of course is going to let him search a Valmonica card, which is most likely going to activate in order to set both of the scales. He does get a Trick Clown back here, and I do have to read these, because let's be honest, who has read Valmonica in the last year and a half? Probably nobody, because they haven't existed that long. Regardless, though, as you can see, our hand is terrible for playing up against anything that can put up much of anything of a fight, and he does manage to get 2 4s on board, going into Sky Striker Azalea. I haven't seen Azalea before, and I was just gawking at the fact that Sky Strikers actually got some sort of support that isn't necessarily terrible. I actually really like Azalea. I think Azalea's cool. Regardless of that, he does pass on an empty board, but unfortunately we aren't really able to do anything with it. We can go into our Giant Rex here, and unfortunately I did have the game if I summoned anything other than Giant Rex. I could have summoned literally any other card, and it would have been just fine. Unfortunately, I'm not that smart, and therefore I don't get to OTK him here, which is just sad times. He does get to draw a card off of the Branded Regained, which I can't really do anything much about, because as you can see here, he is going to live on bare minimum life points. If it was anything other than Giant Rex, it would have been fine. I do debate making a Bagooska here, but I decide not to in the end, and instead just make a Griffin. I think Griffin is way funnier, forcing him to only activate one effect, which should not have been done. I should have just killed him, you know? Misplay Central. This is what this channel is these days. He activates Intware. Basically how the Velmonicas work is that they have multiple effects per card, one which loses you life points and one which gains you life points, and they do different things. It's kind of a very interesting gameplay loop with you having to balance how much resources you're willing to lose and stacking up your counters on both of your pendulum scales. One of them gets counters when you gain life points and one of them gets counters when you lose them. It's very, very interesting. The field spell also does a bunch of crap, but that doesn't matter. He manages to activate TTT here, which is going to be the worst of the worst, as he's just going to go ahead and steal my Griffin, which is very, very rude. He sacks it off for Duramel, which is basically, you know, he punches face a bunch of times and wins the game. That's what he does. But for some reason, he fails to activate the effect here, and he told me later on that he just forgot, which is funny. We don't draw into anything playable here. We do have ourselves a Pancratops, and that is essentially it. We can tag out a card here, and I'm just doing it because it's funny, because it doesn't really do anything for us. We'll go for the Pancratops, we'll activate the field spell. We don't have enough to do anything with the field spell, which I thought we were going to do if we tagged it out. He is just going to link summon a new monster, which is going to pop the Pancratops. We're going to attempt to pop it, but it's not going to end up mattering. He can just summon another one on the following turn, and he'll punch us in the face, and we will be dead. Velmonica is a very, very cool deck, but if you don't see the theme in this episode, is that the dinosaur bricks us a lot. They're very okay going second to clear the board, but going first they don't do anything because our extra deck can't really facilitate using them that well. We can make a Bagooska, which ruins everything we want to do, so how about we don't do that? Game number 2, we do decide to go first, and once again, it's Dinosaurville. Yeah, we have been hitting the dinosaurs every single game now, and we don't really have a good dino combo. We can basically do the really, really old school combo with dinos, and that's really it. We summon UCT, we set 2 cards. I forget that a card is destroyed, which is again my bad. Who touches dinosaurs in the last year and a half? And then we realize very quickly that a UCT isn't really going to do us anything, because he's just going to build on the board like a madman. He actually goes for the Assault Synchron, which I'm like, okay, he's probably going to Synchro 6 into something. I have to fake them face down, and I do. Unfortunately, we draw into the Solemn Judgment on the following turn, which means we can't really do anything here. He activates Chosen Melody, which is interesting. It's just a draw spell, if I remember right. Flips everything. He goes for the Bestial Lubellion, which means he has Bestials available in his Velmonica deck as well, which is actually really cool. Like, I wanted to see more of this deck, but we didn't stand a chance in facing it at all, simply because we kept drawing into dinosaurs. The fucking audacity of the dinosaurs. He goes into Azalea again. Azalea pops a card. It is going to be the Droplet, which is just going to die, and Azalea is going to die too. He's going to tag out for a Bahamut. And as we realize very quickly, there is Lubellion, and then we realize ultra fast that we are basically dead, because any card he summons wins the game. He gets Zubrefa. We get 1 draw to seal the deal. If it's a Hydrant, we will get through this, but it is an MST. So with that, we lose to Velmonica, of all things. For round number 3 today, we're going up against someone who I don't think we've seen in like 7 episodes. It's Bosque, who is playing Volcanic Fire King, and it is terrifying. We start off by literally bricking on a goddamn dinosaur again, and I've been freaking out over this the entire day. Bosque is going to, without a shadow of a doubt, absolutely destroy us because he starts off with the silly, silly Fire King combo. We then notice that he has Volcanic Shells and Snake Eyes, which is the funniest fucking shit ever. Essentially what he told me is this is just a burn deck, but it doesn't have to burn. It's funny as all hell. He goes into Oak. Oak is going to summon back Ash. He's going to sit on his bunch of level 1s. He's going to go to battle. He's going to kill my baby Ceratosaurus because, let's be honest, it wasn't doing anything useful anyway. A Hydrant here could win the game for us if we do something. He makes a Sunlight Wolf of all things, which I was surprised by, but no, we get an Animadored Archaeosaur, and it is the saddest thing ever. We're still going to go into Anima, and we're going to steal the Sunlight Wolf if we get the chance, because there's no reason not to. He's still going to get to return a bunch of cards, but we need to clear the field. We get negated, and we scoop it up immediately, knowing that there's no chance we make it out of that one. for game number 2, we once again do the shenanigans. This time, however, we are able to activate 1 for 1 to actually go into Hydrant to start our combo off and get into some Rescue Ace place, which is marvelous. We managed to get both Fire Engine as well as Turbulence onto the board to set 5 and pass the turn back. We are going to get back the Hydrant in order to summon the Hydrant as well, just emptying our hand and putting everything on the line. Of course, he is playing Sinful Spoils because this man is going full meta on us with the most anti-meta deck. I don't even know what to call it. It's hilarious. We summon the Search a Spell card, whatever, Rescue Fighter Jet Broom man. He does go for the TTT stealing our Turbulence here, which I suppose is fine. It's not like we can really do much about it. He is going to use the Fire King Island. Fire King Island is going to destroy a fire monster, which is going to be once again the Shell. That is the funniest sort of combo that I think I've ever seen. The Fire Kings can utilize the Volcanic Shell to just get a free draw and search the Garunix. That is... I don't know, man. Fire synergy is working out here. He activates the search spell for the Fire Eyes to go into Jet Synchron, which is a level 1 that he can use to synchro into 8s with the Abel Star, which I didn't realize, but is quite funny. He makes Ascan for some reason. I guess he doesn't have a better 8. As he goes into the Exceed monster, which we are forced to negate, we do not want to deal with the Garunix. The Garunix is scary. He goes ahead and makes the Jet Synchron once again, now time being banished, and as well as a Volcanic Shell from hand. He is going to use both of those to make Hita. Hita we are going to blow up immediately because we don't want it to steal anything from our graveyard to go even further beyond. He then goes ahead and makes Volcanic Emperor, which I think is a very cool card, burns us for 1500 as well as setting the counter trap, oh not counter trap, the negate trap. He is going to go ahead and go to battle here, and he is probably going to fight into our Jet Fighter, which we are going to protect with Reinforce, simply because we want to keep our board active if we can. We're then going to set the Alert back, just so we have something. We're going to activate Alert to get Turbulence from our graveyard back to our hand. He is going to proceed to set an extra card and pass it back to us when we draw UCT, which isn't really that helpful. He does have the Volcanic Trap card active now, so he has 1 negate, because if he has a Pyro in the graveyard, which it turns out he doesn't. We go ahead and we activate Rescue Ace HQ in order to draw ourselves a card, and we set 1 card from our graveyard first. Getting everything back into the deck, we go for the Turbulence. Turbulence is going to get hit with a Dogmatica punishment, which presumably is fine. It sucks, but we didn't activate the effect yet, so it is kind of okay. We're just going to shuffle 4 cards back in. We are going to draw a card. We draw an Infinite Impermanence, which I suppose is okay. Volcanic Inferno can only negate if there's a Pyro in the graveyard, and currently there is not, so we go ahead and grab ourselves another Turbulence. We can still do the funny ha-has here. So we're going to destroy the Volcanic Rim, which he chains a Garunix to, which we knew was there, which is kind of what we were after. He's going to attempt to destroy our Fire Engine. We're going to tag it out for another Turbulence. Turbulence now does get to activate its effect if we want to. We do manage to go into Hita, though. Hita's going to summon the Barong he has in his graveyard. We're going to activate Alert, or Rescue, sorry. We do get ourselves an extra card for this. We are going to go... I was debating here. We're going to set all the cards from our deck, and we're going to do the funny. We go for the Unicorn, activating the Unicorn to spin the card back, and then we actually summon Access Code for the first time in, I think, the entire series. Unfortunately, I was debating here, wait, can I kill him? And I didn't realize he was on 61. I thought he was on 8k, so yeah, obviously, I kill him here. I sat there for, I think, a good 2 minutes trying to do math on how to get 8,000 damage on board. Maybe we should look at the life totals more, huh? Regardless, though, we are going into Game 3 for this one, but as you can see, our hand is not great. He shows Lord of the Heavenly Prison, which I find to be super interesting, but doesn't actually get anything on the board. So if we had any card here that starts the Rescue Ace combo, we would actually be popping off. But we don't. We draw a fucking dinosaur. He goes for the Scatter Shot, tags out the Scatter Shot for the Snake Eye spell in order to search himself Ponix. We have to negate the Ponix to not let him draw into the Fire King starters, because that would be bad. Any card that starts the combo here would do it. It's a Droll and Lockbird. That's very unfortunate. We are once again stuck doing nothing. We'll pass the turn back, hope he doesn't draw anything on the draw. He goes for the Lord of the Heavenly Prison again. He sacks off for Diabell Star in hand. We have to negate the Diabell Star to not let him extend into anything else. This is getting ridiculous. Any starter for Rescue Ace, actually any Rescue Ace card would do it here, but no. Specifically a monster card then. We're just going to go ahead and we're going to do the funny because obviously we can't do anything, and I'm just frustrated that dinosaurs have been doing this all day because there is no play we have that does anything. Literally any card here kills us, and I'm just accepting my fate at this point because our hand is literally unable to play. We bricked on 4 Rescue Ace spell traps. We have so many ways of searching in the deck, but instead we draw Misk. If you've noticed, by the way, I think we've opened Misk in almost every match at least twice. It's incredible. Maybe we should just pivot the full dinosaur, because apparently they like to be in my hand. Oh well, we do take a loss against this because we simply can't draw better. Skill issue! And now for the last round of today, we're playing up against Arconic, who is still on Ancient Gears. What an absolute lad. If you're noticing our hand right now, it is still full of motherfucking dinosaurs. It is never anything different. This is a dinosaur deck now. I don't even care. We end on Anima Pass because we don't have a Linkaribo to really build off of this. I'm really mad about all of this. We've opened every single time the Dino combo. We have no payoff going first to doing so. He goes for the Ancient Gear Hunting Hound and attempts to fuse using it. We have to negate this to stop him from going into Howitzer or something. It is simply what we have to do. At this point, though, we are able to kind of do things because we can go ahead and we can make UCT, which we're going to go ahead and do. We can also set the Animasaur just to have a monster to pop with UCT. We're going to punch him in the face for a bunch of damage and then pass the turn back. He sets another card and summons the Ancient Gear Wyvern. Wyvern is going to search in Box. Box is going to get another search to search Infinitrack Anchor Drill. I didn't know he was also on Infinitrax, but I suppose that makes perfect sense. We draw into Emergency. Emergency can finally be activated to tag out for a Hydrant. We're going to use Hydrant's effect to search nothing, because we get hit with an Imperm. Sad times. We go into battle. We're just going to punch over the Wyvern. He's going to activate Limiter Removal. We are just going to decide to use our whatever, the Pop Trap, and just decide to get rid of it. It is the best option we have. He goes for the Ancient Gear Fusion, and now I'm kind of getting scared because he is able to do a lot of things here. He goes into Ballista, which is unfortunate. I probably should have popped it earlier. Now our UCT is on 0. This is kind of bad. At this point, he goes for the Ancient Gear Frame in order to search the Ancient Gear Golem, and he is just going to kill us, which is, it's what we can do. We don't really have a play here. With the two guys sitting, though, he doesn't do anything else, and we draw into Fenrir, which is possibly the best card we could get here. We go for Fenrir, we get ourselves another draw, we go into battle phase, we banish everything that we can, punch in the face, and hope he doesn't have some Mega Bazinga that just kills us. He has another Galaxy Cyclone, though, so our trap is gone. He goes for Howitzer. Howitzer is a problem because it can't be destroyed by battle, and it literally cannot be dealt with by monster effects. So, oh no, sorry, it can be destroyed by battle, but he gets to summon a free card for it. So we do destroy it, he does get to summon a free card off of it. And I'm expecting, like, the worst guy possible here, but he just goes for an Ancient Gear Wyvern, which is interesting, to draw himself Ancient Gear Workshop. We banish it, and we punch him in the face to take the game, but very barely. If he was able to go into the big Chaos Giant, I think we were screwed. Ancient Gear is weird, because it is an old deck, but once they get some guys out, they're scary. Anyways, he is going to go first here and load up with all of the cards he needs to really do anything, but we are going to stop him as hard as we can using Infinite Impermanence, because otherwise we would have been just dead. He goes for the Ballista. We are going to negate the Ballista as well. Letting that resolve is crazy. Also, we still have our Misk in hand, in case you noticed. It's still there. But for the first time, we actually draw into Rodas. We can go into Airlifter, but Airlifter unfortunately gets negated, so we're going to choose to pivot out of it just so we can try and find a card that does anything. We are going to Rescue, which is probably a waste here, because realistically, I probably should have kept it. We are going to go for the Animasaur in order to just kind of do stuff, but I forgot, combo doesn't work because it has to be any other card than Archaeosaur. And I don't read dinosaurs, man. I don't play these. He goes for the Catapult, managing to break the Fiendish Chain, which just gives him free fodder to keep going on. Man, I did not know that Ancient Gear actually had plays these days. It's kinda crazy. Ancient Gear hasn't been on the map for literal years, and all of a sudden they have all of these sort of consistency cards that just helps them do stuff. It's really cool. He's also got his hands on a Super Bullet Express train now, which is kind of scary for us. Everything gets summoned onto the field. He's got a bunch of force, and at this point, I'm thinking, like, okay, if he goes into, like, an actual big Link monster, I'm dead. He goes into Masquerena as well, which is absolutely terrifying. Going into access code, protected, by the way. With the hand we're currently holding, I don't think there's a single way we actually get over this. We draw double Evo Pill, which is funny. We can kind of make something, so I decided, wait, let's go Pankratops, and then I try pop it, and I forget it's protected by IP. Oops. There wasn't a way for us to get out of that one, unfortunately. So game number 3, we do open Fenrir, 2 Torrential Tributes, and a search for a dinosaur, and then we simply pass. He goes for Ancient Gear Fortress again. Fortress is going to get destroyed once he gets Urgent Schedule onto the board, so he does have the train support, man. Managing 2 free monsters is just a free Ballista. Ballista can now pop and do a bunch of shit. I probably should have activated here, but I decided not to. He sets to 0. We're going to go ahead and we're going to banish the castle here. He does get to draw a card off of Gear Town, but I think it's just better for us to get rid of that continuous spell so he doesn't get a free summon as well. He does pop off and goes into the Ancient Gear Fusion, and now we are fucked. Chaos Ancient Gear Golem we can't activate monster effects during the battle phase, and it is immune to spell and traps. This thing's terrifying. Most of our removal is monster effects in battle with stuff like Fenrir. What do? We go for a TT here once he gets the negate on board, because I think that's the best way of getting rid of it, and we do survive one turn here. So we're gonna need an absolute plan. We do draw into Droplet, but that doesn't do anything because it is immune. We do go ahead and go for the dinosaur combo here, because realizing, hey, we can do that. But then we realize, wait, the zones! The zones! We can take it! Holy shit! Well, regardless of that zone misplay, though, we probably still would have won that, because UCT can still flip it face down, and it can be destroyed before it's flipped back up. But the zoning is a little bit fun. Look, YouTube, the dinosaurs fucking... They suck. I never want to see them again. I've been screaming about them for the last 2 fucking hours. How many dinosaur cards are there? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There are a total of 8 fucking dinosaur cards in this deck, and I open them every game. I can't tell if that's because of consistency, that I'm just really good at drawing Miscellaneousaurus, or not. It's fucking upsetting. They're going away. I'm never playing them again, unless some jackass forces me to open this set again, and then we're playing all dinos. That's it. I hate it. Not touching them again. Fuck everything about today. I want to play my Rescue Aces. They're funny. Go Burr. We're not opening Ghost for the Past!